How to be socially successful. I just thought of this. I never thought of it in this way, but most of the clients that I've worked with over the years, I'd say all of them, I was also saying myself included, because I was a client at one point, if you guys remember, but I said the hardest client that I've ever had to coach and work with was me before I started getting into coaching and helping guys to build up their confidence and be more social and start their own business and go to the gym and get out of social anxiety and depression. So being socially successful comes down, I'd say it comes down to one thing, and there might be a couple of other things around that, and it's you've got to be yourself. And a lot of people will say, well, how can I be myself? I don't have the confidence, or I'm fearful of judgment. Well, that's why you've got to practice it. And what people are really saying is it's not going to feel comfortable. I don't want to feel awkward or embarrassed. But the reality is you have to go through that. You have to. If you don't go through that, you're not going to come out the other side with confidence. You're not going to get past it. And I always love talking about the analogy of boxing. The first time I ever came down to the amateur boxing gym, I was desperate to box. I wanted to box. I've been growing up watching boxing on television for years with my dad. But then I realized that I didn't want to get hit, I didn't want to get hurt, I didn't want to get humiliated or embarrassed in front of everybody in the gym. And I didn't want to get tired and throw up and get sick, and I didn't want my ego to be dented. But I wanted to learn to box, and I wanted to be good and fast and have good footwork, good timing, good rhythm, good movement. I wanted people to like me. I wanted them to say, wow, he's a good boxer. But I wanted to go for all that without getting uncomfortable, and it wasn't possible. It was impossible to get to that point. So I had to go through freezing up and getting beaten up and getting sick and panicking and feeling self-conscious. I had to go through that. I had to practice going through that every week until I got more confident, and I got to a point where I came into that space of being confident, and I didn't care what people thought about me, because I thought I'm pretty good. I'm really good at this point. I'm doing well. And someone would say, oh, you boxed well today. And that reinforced, oh, it is true. I do believe in myself. So it's no different with socializing, with getting over social anxiety. I told you guys about another embarrassing situation. It's not embarrassing anymore. I'm really proud of it. It makes me humble. When I first did my first public talk years ago, I think in 2012, when I was a relationship coach, dating coach, and I hired a comedy room out, and there was a group of about 30 plus people. It looked like a lot of people in a small comedy room, right? And this isn't a joke. This sounds like it's a comedy joke. And I stood up, and I just got overwhelmed with fear and anxiety. I just became self-conscious and embarrassed. All my fears from being a kid surfaced. And I started stuttering. I couldn't speak. And of course everyone saw it, and I was well embarrassed. But I didn't give up. When the talk ended, although a lot of people congratulated me, because I pushed through it, even though I really struggled, and everyone could see I was awkward, I couldn't deny that. I could have given up and said, oh, I can't do it. I couldn't be myself, so there's no point being yourself. I'm just going to go back to being someone else. Most people are practicing being someone else, and that leads you to a very dark place. So I said, I knew I've got to do this again. It's not comfortable. I don't like it. I don't like being embarrassed. I don't like people seeing me like this. There's no other way, no other alternative. Same as the boxing. So I turned up, did the next talk. Same again, quite nervous. Did another talk. Excuse me. It's pollen season, bloody hay fever. Gonna get my tablets. Kept going. Got really confident, overcame it. I could be myself in front of the camera. Yeah, in front of the camera now, sorry, Freudian slip. But in the public talk. So I could be myself in boxing. So this works. And I said it years ago, a lot of guys, I understand, people don't always agree with you, even though you believe, you know you're right, and you know it works. Same with getting a woman. Guys say, oh, how should I talk to a woman? What shall I say? How shall I act? You've got to be yourself. If you're not being yourself, then it's not going to work out. And even if you are yourself, you're still going to experience rejection. And that's part of life. That's how you handle it. And you're not going to be rejected forever. So this fear of I'm going to be rejected, I'm not going to be accepted, I'm going to be judged, it's really all you. It's you doing it to yourself. Because I'm not judging you right now, I wouldn't do that. I know some people will. Where's that going to get you? What are they running away from? So to be socially successful, You have to practice being yourself. And when does ever being yourself mean being perfect? Who have you met that's perfect? I've never met anybody perfect in my life. I've met some really good people, some really confident people, interesting people. I've never met anyone who's perfect. But that's usually a cop-out, that's an excuse. If I say, oh, I'm not perfect yet, then I haven't got to face my fear. I haven't got to face my social fear, my social anxiety, or if it's boxing or starting a business or YouTube. And it's the same on YouTube. You know, when I first started out on YouTube, I got a lot of bad advice as far as I'm concerned. People told me to not be myself. Said, you can't be yourself, you're not going to sell, or it won't be. No, I ain't doing that. I know that's not true. You know, I'm gonna be myself, how I am around my family, my friends, my girlfriend, when I'm speaking to new people. If I'm not going to be myself, there's no point. And this is what I guess it is old school to those of you that a lot of you are younger than me. My generation always told me this. But look, am I saying it's easy to be yourself? Of course, it's not easy. It's not easy when you've got fear and anxiety, but that's besides the point. That's why you should practice it. Because when you successfully accomplish it, you're going to value it and you're going to appreciate it so much, because you're going to remember the struggle that you had to go through and how uncomfortable it was to get to the point where you are now, where you're comfortable, you're confident, you're happy in who you are. So of course you've got to be yourself, and you've got to practice it. So you're either going to do two practices. It's your choice, right? You're going to practice wearing a mask. You're going to be someone else. How far is that going to get you? If you want to do that, I can't. That's your life. You make your own choices. I don't think that's the best for you. You're going to practice being someone else, and you're going to practice doing that in order to get people to like you. But you're not going to like you, and you've got to be with yourself 24 hours a day. You've got a conscience. You've got to go to sleep at night. People can't be with you all the time. So to have peace of mind, to be able to look yourself in the mirror, to feel the goodness and be a good person, you've got to be yourself. Now, secondly, I'd say a big part of that is be kind to people. Don't be nasty to people for no reason. Obviously, if someone's nasty to you and they're bullying you, you've got to stand up for yourself. But usually that's quite unlikely if you work on yourself and you're confident. Usually people get overwhelmed in a good way when you're so kind to them and you're so sincere. That it tends to lower people's egos. I'm not saying everybody, but it happens a lot, which is great. So that's another thing to be socially successful. Be yourself, treat people how you want to be treated. And of course that takes a lot of strength. We undervalue that, guys, sometimes. We think, oh, kindness, oh yeah, that's all airy-fairy. It's not. Sometimes you've got to grow up to realise that. I had to go through a lot of suffering to realise that and come to that point. And a lot of this thinking that men have is because the bullying at school. Because I know you resort back and say, well, when I was younger at school, I was nice, people took advantage. I understand that, and they've done that to me. But you can't live like that forever, because you'll just be a bully then. You'll be the same. You won't be any better. And as you get more confident, you get the balance of being nice, being kind, and not letting someone exploit your kindness. And you develop these skills through martial arts, MMA, boxing, self-discipline, fitness training, good relationships, being yourself. All these collective things build a stronger, better person, a better man, a better human being, a better woman, better man, a better person. So all these things are how you be socially successful. Another way is taking every opportunity every day to have a conversation. It always surprises me, guys, no matter how many events I've done, success that I've been fortunate to achieve, my challenges, disappointments, failures, people that have helped me. I'm in the gym the other day. I was just doing a workout. I was enjoying it. I was just cooling off in the steam room, right? Just minding my own business, and there was a guy there, a grown man. I don't know how old he was, 40s, 50s, and in the steam room, he said, "Oh, do you mind if I put some of this, the scent down?" I said, "No, I love it. I love that stuff, mint or lavender. It makes the room smell nice when you're getting a steam, a sauna." And he just got into a conversation with me about where he bought it, and then he got into a conversation where he works, and then he asked me. I told him about hotels. I love hotels, and he said, "Oh, can you recommend some?" He works in the local area I recommended. We just had a great conversation. I could see how much he appreciated. And when I left, I said, "I'm going to have a great day. I'm leaving now." He said, "Oh, thanks, man. Thank you for the tips." So you're very welcome. Stuff like that, that's socially successful. When you can just try and be kind. I know it's not, listen, no one's perfect, not always easy, but when you can, people appreciate it, and you go away, you feel good about it. I also heard Tyson Fury's dad, I heard John talking about the other day, and I agreed. I said same experience. He said you feel so good when someone's being kind to you, or when you've been kind to someone. It can make your whole day, you can be happy. So for me, being socially successful is about being kind to other people. It's about being honest and sincere, and not being manipulative in the conversation, just being a giving person and not having an agenda or some kind of hidden motive. And what's going to come from that's going to come anyway. If it's going to be a great friendship, if you're both going to benefit financially, whatever's going to come, that's honest, that's natural, that's meant to happen. But if nothing comes other than the conversation and a nice little bit of small talk or a deep chat, that's socially successful. And if you can be yourself in the midst of all that, you go to another level. You know, I've had to fight and battle to get past my fears and anxieties and all the bullying I went through, and people attacking me, this and that, and for worth it in the end. You know, it's worth it. It's worth going through the battles to get to this point, because the other alternative is darkness. It's horrible, it's depressing, and you're constantly feeling guilty, you're constantly feeling ashamed, because you know that I'm not being myself here, and people are missing out. I've said that to clients before. It's not just about you. People are missing out. You've got a great personality, you're a good person, you've got a lot to offer, you've got a lot of value to give. And they say, have I? I said, of course you have. I get to know you, I see you every week, I can see it, other people will see it. But if you don't open up and you don't share and you don't face your fears, you're not going to be socially successful, you're not going to build relationships. So that's how you do it. Sorry, this is hay fever. So, you know, and, you know, being yourself doesn't mean every single conversation always feels great. It's not always about that. You do the best you can. Some days, I have days as well, guys, where I'm not always in the mood. I don't always feel confident. Nobody always feels confident. Even a confidence coach doesn't always feel confident. It's impossible. But the mindset, the confidence is to accept yourself in those moments and still be able to be at peace with yourself and say, I'll be confident next time. Just because I wasn't confident for 30 seconds or an hour, that doesn't mean that doesn't sum me up forever. It doesn't. Because look all the times that I've been confident. This is a very confident mindset that anyone can build. And being socially successful is all these things. Positive attitude. If you have an awkward conversation, okay, I didn't feel good about that. Bit disappointed in myself, but next time I'll do better. And you do better next time, and it gives you even more confidence. You gain even more confidence. You gain more confidence from being able to be honest and say, I don't feel confident today, or I didn't feel confident talking to that person. But I tried my best, I was kind, I was myself, but it felt a bit awkward, felt a bit messy inside. But you know what? Next time I'll be better. And the next time you are better, you feel confident, you feel peaceful inside. The person is smiling there, joking. You got that nice feeling. You feel that feeling of that loving feeling between you and the person you're talking to, even if it's for half an hour or a couple of minutes, or it's a lifelong friendship. You go away and you think, I feel so good now, because you've continued. And that's how you be socially successful. And I've said this the other day, I think. I was listening to a billionaire, and of course a lot of the minds of people are going to be thinking, well, he's going to have to tell me something that I've never heard. It's like he's from another planet. It's simple advice. You know, the best advice he gave, he said, I tell people, you're going to get a lot of rejection in life, in business, in looking for a marriage or a wife or relationships or starting, because you're going to get, because if you're prepared for it, it won't hurt as much, as long as you don't give up and you keep going and you keep believing. And this is a man that was homeless twice. His wife left him, took all his money, left him with a child. He had a son, him and his son, no money. His wife's left him, he's broke, living in a camper van, never gave up. That's the heart of a champion. And that's one of the reasons why he became a billionaire, and why he's in a position to give back and give to charities and live a great life. And now he's remarried and got the right person. And he's helped me. He touched me the other day, and he's helped you guys, because I've told you guys and I've helped you, so you help one another. And being socially successful is having this kind-hearted attitude and character, build character. And if any guy thinks, or girl, or any person thinks this is weak, I'm not even going to argue with you. Fine, I'm not going to argue with you. You can figure it out in your own time. I know it's not weak. I know it's strong to be kind, to be vulnerable, and to be yourself, obviously in a controlled way. I'm not saying you're going to go up to people and just start crying and scream. Come on, that would be overdoing it, right? Oh, you might do it on some days, but generally calm, relaxed, smiling, just being natural, being yourself. And that, as you practice it more and you get better, you get more confident, and then you're not looking for people to tell you how like me, love me. It'll come naturally, honestly. So that's how you do it. I just want to make a point of saying this. I always have this anxiety that a lot of you won't get this, because I want you to get it, because it's changed my life and my clients and friends. And I know that most of you will get it, but I'm going to re-explain it. This advice that I'm giving you is not restricted just for relationships, if you want to get a relationship with the right woman, or it's not just for going to a meetup group with like-minded people, or just for making this. It's not limited. It's any area of life. Let's say you say, I want to be a bit more confident in my family. It will work there. Or friends there. YouTube right now doing a video, it works. Live streams, business, meetings, public speaking, teaching other people. It works in every area. But like Les Brown, the great Les Brown says, but you got to work it. You can't blame me and blah, the method don't work. You got to work it. You got to work at it. So I've given you the strategy. I've given you it. It's down to you guys now. So if you enjoyed this video, you're welcome to like it. You can share it with a friend. Subscribe to the channel. If you've got any questions, let me know in the box below. I always try and answer every question I can. If I can't answer your question in writing, which I probably can, I will read it and answer your question in another video. As always, if you guys are interested in confidence coaching for building your confidence in the areas that I teach, which are mostly all in these different areas: career, relationships, finances, moving forward, making friends, or just being more confident, moving forward in life, my email address is below. Send me an email. I'll get back to you. If you need me to explain all the coaching programs I offer, I do in-person coaching, I do online coaching, I do long-term coaching, which is anything up to 1 year. I do short-term coaching, which could start as little as 2 hours, 6 weeks, 6 months, a weekend. Depends on what you need, what would work, what my schedule like, what is yours like. I'm friendly. Reach out, send me an email, and I'll get back to you. And as I always say, guys, right, I don't coach anyone and everyone, because not everyone is right for my coaching, and I'm not right for everyone. I only coach people that have got similar values to me, are good people, reliable, and they're very committed. And for those people, if you apply for the coaching and you can't afford it, you don't have the money, then stick to the free videos. You've got all the free advice. It's all free. You can apply it. I do a free fearless event, so that solves that problem. And for those of you that are financially great and you can afford it, and you see the value in my coaching that my clients see and I see, then we can close the deal and work together. All right. Speak to you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Fearless.